Yes, hello and welcome back to New Bytes, and this is the review about the LG G3, and this is probably the review after almost 3 weeks of usage. Now, from my previous videos, you will know that I've been using the LG. The LG G3 was purchased from Quikr Refurbished, from the Quikr website, and this is basically a refurbished mobile phone. So, 3 weeks I got to use this phone, and possibly I'm going to give my reviews on how the phone fared over this past 3 weeks. So, starting off, yeah, everything of the phone worked. It was a perfectly working phone up to the first 7 days of usage. From whatever I understand is that Quikr could go ahead and provide a replacement, or even I could replace this device after 7 days. But the funny part was that problems started showing up after 7 days. Now, one of the most common problems is, like, I'm not going to review the phone because there are many other basic reviews about this phone on many websites, and it's been previously reviewed several times over. Things like, from what I understand, like, basically everything about this phone worked, including the laser autofocus, which is right in the middle over here, and the flash was perfect, the volume up and down rocker was perfect, the camera was good up to a certain point when I noticed there were certain issues with the camera also. After 7 days, what I noticed was the memory card stopped working. Now, you can see over here that right now the internal storage shows almost 12.75 GB has been used, and there was no SD card inserted, but that is because I removed the SD card, and because it was giving a lot of issues. Like, after almost 10 to 15 minutes, the SD card used to automatically unmount itself and remount again, and it used to happen almost 10 to 15 times a day, and from that 10 to 15 times it almost increased to a point where the SD card stopped detecting at all. Now, I was afraid. I didn't want to screw up my SD card. So what I did was I went ahead and disconnected it, and right now I'm working on this phone without any SD card on it. So also what I noticed was cracks appearing on the phone. Like, over here you can see right in the middle, there's on the bezels there are cracks appearing on the phone. Now, I'm not sure on the camera it can show up, but right over here where I'm putting my finger, you should probably see a small crack. Yes, you can probably see it shining. Yeah, that's one crack over there. Then on the top over there's a huge crack over here, if you can see it. But I think this is a problem of the durability of the device, but I'm not sure, just because it's a refurbished phone, I'm not sure if that's the problem. As you can see that I have already put a tempered glass protector on the screen, so I think that probably saves the screen from any physical damage. And one more thing I noticed was, I'm not sure if this is a problem that it is a refurbished device, but the GPS, I have no clue, but the GPS tends to be very laggy on this device. I am not sure if that is because the GPS chip is damaged, or if it is a problem with the phone itself, or I might be too comfortable using the Motorola Moto X, which is basically the camera I'm using to record this video on. Now, talking about the camera, I have noticed that there is a flare on the lens. Like, if you can, I'm not sure if I can show it to you over here, but there is a flare when it points at bright light. Now, if I try to from what I understood is that there was a flaring on the lens. Now, if I could show a photo over here, let's see. I almost tend to be almost unprepared for the photos. Okay, now if you see this photo over here, you can see that the foreground has a basketball. It's a tennis net on the foreground, which is very nicely taken. But in the background, you can see a lot of ghosting out there. You can see a lot of flare from where my finger is pointing. Now, that's not expected out of a phone, but from what I understand is that there were a lot of smudges on the camera lens over here. there are huge smudges on this. Probably when the back panel was removed and there was basic tinkering done on the body, or if there was any basic repairs done on it, there were probably fingerprints landed on the lens. Now I took the liberty of actually disassembling the phone just to see what happened to it, and from whatever I understand is that there is there are several faults. Now you can associate the faults. For example, the SD card slot is basically dangling. It's not working at all. Now what I'll do is I'll pop up the cover and try to show you what's the problem over here. I'm back. Okay, now I just popped the cover out of the back of the phone, and you can see that I already have a SIM card in there. I'll just try to get it focused. Yeah, there it is. And I have removed the SD card slot, and basically the SD card slot right here tends to be slightly damaged. I'll just try to point it out. This is over here. The SD card slot over here is damaged. Basically it's shaking a lot over there, which means that I'm not able to read any SD cards. And if you can see, there's the Vodafone SIM card over here, and the SIM card only reads if I put an extra extensible device over here, which actually stabilizes the SD card in it. So it basically pushes down the SD card into the slot, and somehow the SD card, the micro SIM somehow is able to read on this phone. So just like that, this phone wasn't able to read the micro SIM unless I had to force it down. Apart from that, there's no other issues, except when I noticed that there was one of the screws was missing over here. It was not me, but I noticed the screw was missing. And the NFC and the Qi charging. NFC, for some reason, it wasn't able to detect any standard NFC tag. Now, what is a standard NFC tag? It is something like this. Now, this is a standard NFC tag. This is programmed to automatically call a number, and only the Moto X Play was able to do it. Now, despite it having an antenna on the cover over here, this is the antenna, the NFC antenna and the Qi charging antenna, which basically Qi charging enables wireless charging on this. Now, I haven't been able to test the wireless charging because I don't want to spend on a module which may probably not work on this device. Despite it having good contacts, I figured it out that this entire sticker was actually misplaced. It was in a different angle altogether, and I had to remove it and reapply it back just so that these contacts over here could line up to these contacts over here. After that, yes, the Android beam was able to work, but unfortunately, again, NFC tags did not read. Now, Android beam does use NFC, but the basic functionality of being able to read tags, if that's gone missing, then what's the use of an NFC device? But I have to just yet to see it working on an Android Pay device. I have not tried that yet, but it'll be interesting because such a thing is not showing up yet. Now you can see that I'm using Geo 4G voice and unable to detect the Geo 4G SIM. One thing I'd like to tell you is that this is a device coming from a T-Mobile. Basically, it is a US based device, and this phone will not support Geo SIM cards in it. And just the fact that it runs 4G on an Indian network, that to Vodafone itself, is a great thing. That's what is preventing me from dumping this phone. Otherwise, I'm not going to dump this phone just because it is almost all its functionalities work perfectly. The camera is not good. You cannot take good photos in the night. In the daytime, yes, it does take very good photos. Apart from that, the camera is just, I can say, does not match up to what a Moto X Play camera is. So I'm comparing this to a Moto X camera because that is the device I am using as a primary device right now. So okay, I'm not as this phone will stay and remain as a secondary device always, and considering it does record in 4K videos, for only 5 minutes, that is manageable to some extent. Now coming back to the fact about Quikr refurbished devices, what is the best advice, if you may ask? Because many people have asked me in my old video, like, what is my recommendation? Is it a good idea to go for Quikr refurbished? Now, Quikr refurbished has basically basically 3 categories: fair, good, and excellent. Now, I purchased this device under the excellent category, and my experience, I would say, is that it is. I will give it on a 5 rating. I will give it a 4 because yes, it was good, and bad because I did not get any good accessories with it. I'm supposed to be getting original LG accessories, but what I got was a charger cable which did not have a USB front, which means that I cannot use the charger cable. I got a third-party power brick, which means that I cannot use this for this phone. I don't want to risk damaging this phone at all, so I have to be using any standard cable which I had got previously from any other device. So that's what I'm doing right now. You cannot expect a 100% perfect device when you get it from a refurbished unit. Always expect that. Never expect a very good 100% working device. There might be some sort of small faults with the device. You should be ready to compromise with that. This phone will be costing almost 21,000 to almost 45,000. I'm not sure about the current cost because it's not available now. But for 7,000, it was a very good deal, and I can see almost a 95% working device, or I can say it's not 95. I cannot give a percentage just because its SD card is not working. I would say it is almost a 99% working device. It's a very good deal. I would say yes, you can go for Quikr refurbished if you're ready to face small issues and not expect any 100% working device. You can go for Quikr refurbished, but I would only recommend you to go for the products which come under the excellent category and never for something which is fair, because you might expect a lot of scratches and basically unusable features of the phone. If you want a almost perfect working device for a very cheap price, yes, you can go for a Quikr refurbished under excellent. Otherwise, just go for a new device. I mean, that'll be better, right? Okay, so this is my small review about the device after using it for almost 3 weeks. I would definitely continue using this device. Alternatively, possibly shifting from my current existing Moto X or occasionally using my Moto G. But I would be coming back to this device very soon, and I would not be completely abandoning this device. So it is a good device. I was impressed, except for a few small problems. I mean, how hard could it be? How bad could it be? So thank you so much. This will be the last video for the LG G3, which is unboxed by Quikr, which is purchased using Quikr refurbished. Rest is up to you, the viewers, and it's up to your decision. How do you want to proceed with Quikr refurbished? How would you like to proceed buying a new a refurbished device? It's all left to you now. You can go through my previous 2 videos, which is basically showing up on the show notes over here and here, and you can put down your comments and subscribe to this channel. It would help me so much. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.